And for our final topic, a Memphis-based commercial property developer, SMPO, proposed a new jail at the old Firestone plant site in North Memphis in the new Chicago neighborhood. Now, the 71-acre site would totally replace 201 Poplar downtown. It's expected to cost anywhere between $993 million and $1.2 billion, plus $350,000 for the master planning phase. It'll be funded through a mix of private and public money. The county's whole criminal justice system, would be there. Juvenile court and its detention facility, county corrections, the sheriff's office and its training facility, a federal corrections institute, a transition center, civil courts, and the general sessions court clerk's office with that. There are a lot of voices split on this, so I want you to listen to a montage of a few of them. A representative from the development group, the general sessions court clerk, a new Chicago community leader, a bishop at a neighborhood, Kojic Church, and the head of the criminal justice reform group, Just City.
Of the three sites in the CTAS report, this site by far would be the most economical.
I only received this plan yesterday, and it was from a community member. The courts have not been engaged on this matter, and this is considering relocating our operation.
I don't think no one would want a jail in the middle of their neighborhood, and they're not going to put that jail in the middle of New Chicago.
Can bring some vitality, other businesses, spinoffs of income and other income streams and employment in the area. And I think you'll have more investors coming and taking a lot of the vacant lands and building homes and so on.
And it's incredibly frustrating for me. It's incredibly frustrating for the families of the men who have died this year to see a showcase, if you will, about a gleaming new cage city in New Chicago that will also be the site of deaths if we staff it, if we run it, if we manage it the way we're running the current jail.
So with that, I'm going to open it up to Susan Thorpe here. So Susan, is it a good idea first to move the jail out of downtown, and is this site a plausible one?
I think it's a good idea to give us a new jail. Okay. Now, whether we should move it out of downtown is a whole different story, but I would at this point say no. There are too many questions and not enough answers right now. If the county is going to cough up $1.3 billion to move this to the old Firestone plant area, the questions I have is, how come something hasn't been built there in the last 35 years? What's so toxic about that property? Two, why wouldn't the county issue an RFP to find out how it could weigh all options about building a new jail? And did the county go out and solicit Kemp Conrad and his colleagues to find us a new spot? Or was that spot brought to them by Kemp Conrad? I think they're just too, you know, there's another old saying in journalism, if you don't have the answers, follow the money.
Right.
And that's a lot of money. We railed over here for a year or two about Memphis Light, Gas and Water moving away from downtown. The same thing applies to the jail. This jail was built and opened in 1981, 45 years ago. It was flawed from the beginning. It cost us $60 million to build, which is about $250 million today. It was designed by an architectural firm, if I'm correct, that had no experience in designing a jail. But even that, and Mark Luttrell often said that it's the largest, the jail houses the largest mental health center in the state of Tennessee. Even with that, I have never agreed with Josh Spickler on anything, but I agree now. If you're going to build a jail and move the facility somewhere else, then you need to build a new culture inside that jail that employs the operations of that jail, because what's going on right now just simply doesn't work.
Wow. Waylon?
Well, it makes absolute sense to me. It makes absolute sense to move it where they're talking about moving it. It would bring needed economic development in the North Memphis area. From what I understand, not only would there be criminal justice components, but there'd be retail components, there'd be a bank, there'd be a grocery store, there'd be other things to lift the community. And if I were living in that area, I would demand that there also be some jobs for the people who live there. Criminal justice is a growth industry, whether we like it or not. I would demand that there be some significant funding for public education and charter schools in that area. I think we need to clear downtown of the congestion that the criminal justice complex has created, because the number of inmates is not going down until we increase the quality of public education in Memphis, and that just is what it is. And I think that area, that particular piece of property, is perfect for this.
I do have to go back to what Dr. Atwater said, that nobody wants a jail in their neighborhood, though.
And that's why it would count. It would help if the people who live there got the same thing that the people in the neighborhood around the complex that Elon Musk is building are getting, and that is financial investment in their neighborhood. Now, I'm not saying that there won't be red tape, but the reason the RFP wasn't issued is probably because of the red tape, and it was this kind of public discussion. But I think it'd be a great idea.
That's great.
Well, if there's going to be a bank there, the people who are going to be there most of the time won't even be able to go to the bank because they're in jail. So I disagree with this vehemently. I just think that this is a private entity's opportunity to cease to make some money here, so let's follow the money. Commissioners Shante Avant and Henry Brooks were right on the money the other day. Commissioner Brooks says, let's slow down, we're going too fast on this, let's deliberate and think through this. And Commissioner Avant says the county already has a lot of property itself. Why are we going to lease property from a private entity and then have a lease to own like you would do at Rent-A-Center and have that for our jail facility? I just think that we're moving too fast. Like Henry Brooks says, we need to slow down and follow the money to see where things are going.
And after you put $1.3 billion, taxpayers' money, and private money, come on. That's a different story. After you put $1.3 billion into it to improve somebody else's property, we don't even own it.
That's right.
I mean, what's that?
Right.
Whose idea was that?
Well, I agree with the follow the money piece. Who originally owned that plot? Who sold it to whom, and then whom sold it to who sold it to whom, and how did it get to where we are right now?
And how come if no developer has gone into that, if it's such an economically sound move for us, how come no other developer in this community has gone in, bought that place, and redeveloped it?
Absolutely.
That's a big
There's been
question.
several projects that did not manifest.
And if you move it from downtown, you gut downtown.
Yeah.
And you take
need parking
all
space.
those, don't forget, you might be moving the prisoners, but you're going to take all those employees, all those people who go out of the criminal justice complex every day, buy their lunches, rent parking spaces. You're going to create a
Trust
mess.
me,
We got to move on.
You see it in my face.
Regentrification.
Okay, we have two people we really need to pay tribute to before we go, two pillars of Shelby County and government and politics who passed away recently. Former Shelby County Mayor William Bill Morris Jr. and former Shelby County Commissioner Julian Bolton. Morris served as county mayor from 1978 to 1994, the longest serving mayor in the county's history. And then former County Commissioner Bolton was the longest serving member after holding office for 24 years. He worked as an attorney and practiced law for decades before retiring in 2024. Now, former Mayor Morris, excuse me, I can't get my words right, passed away Friday, July 25th at 92 years old, and Bolton passed away this past Monday at 75 years old. I know you all did extensive coverage on these two individuals, so Susan, I'd like you to open it up.
You know, I want to focus right now on Bill Morris. Bill Morris was a friend of mine, and he became a friend of mine after many years of covering Bill Morris. He did more for this community in bringing business and attention and people liking him. He was a great speaker. I once wrote a column about Bill Morris's speeches. You could sit there and listen to Morris speak for 40 minutes and say, feel good, walk out of there, what a great guy, and not have any idea what he said. Because he said to me once, Susan, I'm not here to sell the steak. I'm here to sell the sizzle. And that's what he really believed in this community. Maybe he made his original fame and fortune out of escorting James Earl Ray or being the sheriff at one time. But He was a man who believed in this community. This is a community that gave him his possibilities as a poor boy from Mississippi, and everybody respected Bill Morris. I enjoyed having lunch with him many times. He was just, I'll miss him being in the neighborhood.
We're going a little bit into overtime, but of course we go
Very
ahead.
briefly here, he was a friend of mine too, and one of the greatest politicians we've ever had. I've said before, he needs to be on the Mount Rushmore of political leaders in this community. Julian Bolton was a fabulous politician too. He unseated an incumbent, entrenched incumbent in Minerva Johnnigan when nobody even knew who he was. And he went on to serve 24 years. And so I give kudos to both of these gentlemen for being being as politically astute as they were and being able to serve as long as they did.
I worked for Minerva, and so I felt some kind of way about Julian, but I developed a high level of respect for him because of his integrity in office. With regard to Bill Morris, I respected because he was the one who protected the assassin of Dr. King, and he didn't let it devolve into complete chaos. I've always respected him for that.
Wow, well, I think you three did those two gentlemen justice. Thank you so much for giving that history of Memphis for us.